Hello, my Fireflies, and welcome back to the Cyan Firefly. It's me, Lyiat, and we're here with the very first TCF Investigates. So, I have with me the CEO of LudoCraft, Tony, if you'd introduce yourself.
Oh, hi, I'm Tony Manninen from LudoCraft.
Very good. So, LudoCraft has released a game called Air Buccaneers, and I've covered it in the past. It's actually a pretty good game. Tony and, I believe, Ollie were very nice enough to give me review code for the game, so I've been having quite a bit of fun playing it. So, tell me, what exactly is Air Buccaneers in your own words?
Air Buccaneers is all about domination of the skies. So it's basically airship battle game where two teams fight against each other in the kind of northern atmosphere. So we have Buccaneers, who are kind of like the shamanistic original folk from the north, and then we have these infamous Vikings, who, as everybody of you know, they dominate the many areas of northern Europe, and these two tribes kind of have these epic and eternal battles against each other, trying to conquer the skies.
Yes, the evil invading Norse. Otherwise known as my ancestors.
All right,
oh.
Cool.
Yes, so what exactly inspired you guys to make this wacky Pirates versus Vikings air combat game?
Oh, it's a long story. Actually, I think it was in 2003, so almost 10 years ago, when we decided that we would like to take part in this Make Something Unreal competition, which Epic and Nvidia were running at that time, and we were doing all kinds of weird mods for Unreal Tournament Engine, and kind of toyed around with different concepts. And since we had already kind of functional airship in one of our projects, we thought that what might happen if we just place a cannon into the ship and then have kind of team deathmatch game where everybody kind of flies these ships around and try to blast each other out from the. And after 1 week of hard prototyping and programming, we had a first proof of concept, and we tried it with our group of friends, and it was so hilarious that we thought that, yeah, this might have something in it. And of course, we did the mod version, and we got some promising feedback from the competition, and now in this iteration we are totally reworked the game, and we now use Unity 4 engine, and we introduced the Vikings, because before that we had kind of pirates against peasants, and the peasants were the kind of farmers from the north. But then we thought that who on earth would like to play as a farmer in a game? So everybody wants to be a hero, whether it's a kind of Viking type of hero or more like anti-hero Buccaneer kind of style. So we introduced Vikings, and then of course we get this nice Finland versus Sweden kind of battle going on, because we have this love-hate relationship with our neighboring country, and we totally love them, and we just want to have all the possibilities to fight against these folks.
Yes, I do know some of the history of your company and the history of this game. I'm aware that this game was originally developed as a mod for Unreal Tournament. So what exactly what was the process behind actually making it into a full game? Why did you decide to go and make upgrade from a mod to being a full game?
I think initially, during the times of the mod, we just wanted to create something fun, and we actually never thought more about that. And then when we started LudoCraft in 2006, we started kind of developing games professionally. So of course we followed what's going on in the world, and actually I think the biggest factor which kind of pushed us forward was the fan base of the modding community. So the people who were still playing the old mod after so many years of its development. And occasionally we got kind of like questions from the fans that, aren't you going to make this a full game, and why are you not, and could we make a full game, and things like that. So that kind of encouraged us to try it out one more time. And also I think that the playing community itself, it's kind of ready for this type of, let's say, more major co-op game experience, because we seem to have trend of co-op games coming along nicely. So I think people
Nothing quite in this genre, though. Nothing quite in this genre.
Yeah, this seems to be a very odd genre, and of course you all know Guns of Icarus, who are, I think, the closest as a concept-wise to Air Buccaneers. But other than that, there are not that many games available at the moment. So I think it's really sad.
Yeah, I did go ahead and cover Guns of Icarus. Personally, I wasn't too impressed by it, but this particular interview isn't so much about Guns of Icarus. Do you think we'll be seeing a little bit more of this airship battle style of game in the future? Because Air Buccaneers is pretty good, and Guns of Icarus does have quite a bit of promise as long as they fix a couple of aspects of the game. I know I've been quite enjoying this whole concept, and I personally would love to see more of it.
Yeah, I think it's because it has some nice like, let's say, gameplay elements in it, because like if you think about Air Buccaneers, it's okay, we have team deathmatch games, all sorts of games, even for PC, and some have more sophisticated game modes than just the traditional TDM. But with these kind of airship battle games, the interesting factor is that you are not just kind of playing yourself with your mates, but you actually are in this tight spaced ship. You are there kind of side by side, either attacking or defending or doing a bit of both. So it, in our opinion, it really raises the kind of experience you get from the game, and it really boosts up your adrenaline levels and stuff like that. So I think there is very much potential in these type of airship battle style of games. I would love to see even naval games, kind of traditional sea warfare games with these kind of true co-op elements themselves. And like many of the folks are asked whether there might be kind of spaceship version of this style of gaming. So why not? Because it's kind of, I think it's good fun to play with your crewmates and to actually share the experiences, whether it's for victory or for defeat.
Yes, I did manage to catch Total Biscuit's interview of you guys, and I had to agree with a lot of his points, because I think it would be really cool to do something very similar and hop on like a ship of the line, 40 cannon sail ship, and just go in as a naval battle, or perhaps be on the deck of a starship and do something very similar. I think those would be very, very cool concepts, and it's kind of a shame we don't have any of that right now.
Yes, I totally agree, because there's plenty of room for these type of games out there.
Most definitely. I mean, the only other game I can kind of think of that would be any similar, and it's a completely single-player experience, would kind of be FTL. I mean, maybe we could make something that's kind of like FTL, but has multiplayer, and each character has their own individual role. I don't know. So, yeah.
Yeah, totally. It should work.
Now, alright, moving on. Are there any major snags or bugs you've run into while in development? I did see your whole gunpowder, flare, carpet bomb bug, which was pretty amusing.
Oh yeah, and that's basically only one instance out of thousands. So yeah, of course there has been some like this one, very hilarious ones, but I have to say most of the bugs are just pain in the ass. So there has been like characters doing weird things with the armor or the kind of the whole netcode thing acting in a weird way, and server crashes seems to be constant. Even now we are in beta and we are struggling to try and keep up the servers. Some may be caused with there are always different reasons, but yeah, there seems to be plenty of bugs around. But at least we have a brilliant programming team, so they are working hard on kind of polishing all the ones that are not fun, at least out of there. But maybe there will be more interesting video clips out there showcasing some other nasty ones as well.
Any bugs that you've actually wound up turning into actual features of the game to give it a little bit more flavor?
We had a just pretty recently. We had a testing session with people outside LudoCraft as well, and usually those sessions are when things really go wrong because when we are just a bunch of us, everything seems to work nice, but then this demo effect hits and everything goes like what we didn't plan. So we had this, I don't know what's the name, I would call it rapid fire bug. So we had
sounds familiar.
Cannons actually firing like in really rapid rate. So it was like
oh, okay.
And the sky was filled with projectiles, and it was like fireworks, and that is something that we are seriously considering, that perhaps we could at least make a game mode or something that won't spoil the whole game, because it seemed to be good fun. It was totally different gameplay. It introduced so different approach to the whole tactics of the battle that I would almost call it a different game. But we are thinking about that, and maybe we'll kind of reward our fans in a way that we'll provide some of this feature some way or the other in the future.
Well, I have noticed that you've made a couple of major changes since the alpha, including the addition of some pseudo-RPG elements, specifically the perks and flaws system, as well as being able to equip certain arms and armor. Now, I want to ask what brought that change on, and now that you've kind of mentioned that whole rapid gun thing, what if you could include that as, like, for an ability that you could unlock? You could temporarily, say, upgrade your cannon to give it rapid fire capability for like 10 seconds or something like that, and you could have additional abilities such as giving your ship a temporary shield or stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that we are now trying to figure out, and we are doing some internal testing to see how it will affect the game and how can we kind of manage it in a way that it will stay together. But yeah, the whole perks and flaws system, if I remember correctly, the main initiative to that was that there are people out there asking for kind of more depth in the game and kind of a feel of progression in terms of playing the game, because many people see Air Buccaneers as just a battle game where you go into a battle, and when that battle ends you go to the next one. It's kind of eternal cycle. So many of our,
not that there's anything wrong with that, but
yeah, I totally love it. I wouldn't need anything else, but then we had already during alpha phase, we had fans who were kind of promoting the idea that would it be nice to have something over there you could possibly develop your character in one way or the other, and we were kind of considering that for a while, and we were always very careful because we thought that if we give the players abilities that change the gameplay, it's very difficult to balance the game, because if one teams have more advanced players than the others, they will possibly dominate the game in a way that it becomes impossible to be on the other side.
Yeah, that's very understandable.
So then we kind of pick this perk and flaw concept. It has been demonstrated in many games at the moment,
Yeah.
so we thought that it might provide some kind of balancing effect, because if you take the perk, you advance some of your features, then you need to take a flaw to kind of counterbalance on some other areas, and
Yes.
it seemed to work nicely with the whole concept, and we wanted to try it out to see if it's actually contributing to the overall gameplay. And now during the beta phase, we'll collect data, we collect feedback, and I have to admit that even for myself personally, even though I wouldn't need more depth to the game, I'm desperately trying to unlock the perks now, and somebody has designed so pain in the ass ladder in opening up the perks that I'm struggling myself, and I just want to get the experience. That how would it feel? That is it like too much work to open up a perk, or will they come kind of too easy? So the beta time at the moment is we try to balance it, we try to tweak it, and definitely we are introducing other perks and flaws as well. So we now have the initial set, but there will be more.
Yes, it's definitely something that you might have to play with in the future, because it kind of feels like right at the moment that it might be a little grindy, but I haven't played enough since the beta release to actually give an educated opinion on that, so I might be wrong, so don't take my word as necessarily gospel at the moment.
okay, but we are very careful to we want to listen our fans, and we want to listen to players who actually have experience now when we get kind of enough hours to play the game, so that all the feedback, we have the forums up and running, so just people out there, give your feedback, and we go through all the details, and we analyze the game data, and I'm pretty sure that the perks and flaw system will stay there, because at the moment it seems kind of fitting into the concept, but definitely it may need some tweaking up.
Mm-hmm. Are there any particular future goals you plan on having for the game? Certain things you want to specifically accomplish with your title?
I think one of the things that interests us is the whole kind of e-sport concept.
Mm-hmm.
Because like many people say that Air Buccaneers is a beautiful game for LAN parties. That when people are actually in the same room and they can kind of shout and joke around and do all that thing, it works even better than in purely online settings. So somehow it would be nice to see Air Buccaneers as kind of esport title, that there would be tournaments of teams playing against each other and measuring up their kind of capabilities.
I know I would sign up. That sounds like it'd be a great time.
Yeah, and then if you surely noticed our level design, that we have a game where you fly airships up in the sky, and then still we have the landscapes where nobody can actually go and stay alive. So it's kind of
because of the giant mushrooms.
Yeah, it's kind of perverse concept in a way, but the kind of positive thing from that level design is that it's kind of easy to spectate the game. So it's very easy to provide kind of a footage from the game, even to stream it online real time, because you can see most of the players, you can see what happens in the game, and it's really difficult to do that, for example, in Battlefield or in some other kind of these more war scenery oriented games where people are hiding in the bushes or doing something inside the buildings and nobody can see them. So I think this way it might be very kind of spectator friendly esport game.
I could see how you could set up some very effective cameras and get some really nice shots for esports. So that's actually a pretty wise idea. I really hope somebody starts working on that.
Yeah, and we already are planning that in the latest in the Gold release, that we introduce some features into the game that makes it easier to organize kind of the spectated matches. So we are definitely introducing some features, but then it's, I think, up to the community to decide whether these will be kind of, whether anybody's interested or not. So if people are, then of course we develop the game further and maybe provide some kind of special packs for the game to make it suitable for different tournaments. We have a betting system planned already, so that you could have in-game money and actually kind of have this huge pile kind of bet, and the winning team would get the money and do all these things. But it's still out in the open whether we'll introduce that for the gold or whether we'll just leave it for the future development. So we'll see.
Yes, that actually kind of combines into my next question. You have made quite a few changes going from the alpha to the beta in response to your player base's comments and concerns, including some of the ones I myself brought back when I covered the alpha. Are there any other major changes as the game nears release that you're really planning on doing?
First of all, let me thank you for your comments. Like I said, we try to read the comments and really absorb the feedback from the players, because we want to build a game which is for the gamers themselves, not just for us. We want to have fun ourselves as well, but this is for the gamers. And the major changes from the, let's say, management point of view, I really do hope that there wouldn't be too many major changes, because otherwise we run out of time, and definitely we run out of money unless we keep buying the beta game.
Yeah.
So actually our fans can really decide whether they want some major changes. So we are open for proposals and very eager to get some money so that I can pay salaries for my crew. But yeah, there are some changes that we kind of originally planned to introduce during beta, but then we decided that we'll kind of start the beta phase with these features that are now out there in the open, and then possibly introduce a couple of bigger changes during this beta phase. But I can't really give you any specific dates yet, because we now need to get familiar with the playing style, how people are playing the game, and for example, we have the base cannons, which are kind of the defensive weapon in the bases, the ground,
which are very much effective. Yes,
are very effective. So we already have a kind of ship that has similar cannons. So very powerful and very kind of straight lining aiming. Very slow moving platforms, mainly still providing kind of support fire from a distance.
Yeah, but so kind of like a really big artillery ship.
Yeah,
that sounds cool.
Kind of, and like if you tried out the suicide ship or the kamikaze balloon, we try to introduce a couple of changes that might really provide something new to the tactical level of the game, that it actually changes the tactics, how people will play the game, so it gives more variety, it becomes richer in that sense.
Speaking of the kamikaze balloon, I'm probably going to roll this footage right here, but I do absolutely love how when Total Biscuit's video started, that the first thing he catches footage of is of him going up to a balloon with you and a couple of other devs on it, and then a split second later I slammed my kamikaze balloon straight into all of you. It was a very fun moment for me.
And that was really nicely done, and definitely really nicely timed. I don't know whether you planned that, or was it just you were out there on the nice...
I had no idea he was flying up there.
Yeah, so it was really nice moment, and I think he got a bit of shock, initial shock. Right after landing the ship, it all went up, and
it just exploded.
Yeah, but
I know it made me crack up in particular.
yeah, but the kamikaze balloon is it's something. It's so different from the other balloons, and of course it's kind of suicide mission and things like that. But it's really like the veteran captains of even especially the battleships, when they spot the balloon, they will take action. You can't just not pay attention to that balloon because it can really bring you down.
Oh yeah, back in ancient days, I believe the Greeks used them quite liberally. They were known as fire barges, and they would stock them full of combustible material, and they just set it on fire and send it at a enemy ship.
Oh yes, yes.
Okay, we're starting to run dry on questions. I believe I have one more. Yes. Do you plan on eventually having future DLC packs for the game, and do you plan on charging players for them?
I suppose we need to have future DLC packs because it may be impossible to include all the interesting features or assets to the first version of the game. So we are planning to have them. The business side, whether we plan on charging players or not, it's still undecided. So we toy around with different business models, and it would be nice to give everything away free, because it's so satisfying to be able to provide something that players really like to play and they enjoy playing. But then, of course, on the other side, we need to make a living as well. So
yeah. At the end of the day, Tony has to eat.
Yeah, I also have to eat at least sometimes, not every day, but I can. So nowadays I usually play the beta, so I forget to eat. So it's cheaper that way. Electricity.
Oh yes.
In Finland, but yeah. So definitely let's say the more cosmetic DLCs like different character skins like that. Those are on the list because there are players who would like to stand out and they would like to have something to differentiate from other players. So
that was one of the things I brought up in my alpha coverage. So.
Yeah. And then let's say maps or levels. At the moment, I don't think we would have them as separate kind of DLCs, because we would of course like that everybody has the same map, so that they can join the games, not to separate players depending whether they've got the DLC or not. So those we probably just have standard upgrades to the game, so that you can have them like that. But then those kind of esports things and the whole betting system and things like that. So those are the main ideas that may emerge as DLC packs.
All right, cool. All right, so I think that's basically all I wanted to cover. We have been talking for about 30 minutes now, so all right. Are there any closing thoughts you wanted to give us before we closed out here?
We need more beta players, so there's still, we are bringing up new servers as fast as there's demand for servers. Yes. So occasionally there may be peaks that it's difficult to find a slot, but usually, at least just when I checked, there were at least 2 servers that had plenty of room in them. So just people download the client, join us in the online battlefields, and remember to give us the feedback, because now we need all the experiences we can gather out there, so that we can polish the game to a level that it will be the final official release of Air Buccaneers, which should come out somewhere around the Independence Day of Finland, which is 6th of December this year.
Yes, I will definitely kick my viewers in the butt and make sure to check out your awesome game, because just what it comes down to is that there aren't a lot of really innovative, new kinds of titles out there, and this is one of them, and I really do think it should be rewarded. The open beta is now officially released as of this recording, which is Monday. I do believe this video will be coming up tomorrow, which is Tuesday, so basically everybody jump on, download the client, and go play, because it is fun, it is a blast, and it is fully worth playing. Alright, but that is pretty much all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank you, Tony, for agreeing to show up on our show today.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, and for now, this has been Lyiat with the Cyan Firefly, interrogating Tony and LudoCraft for all the information that they have. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.